Dear students, in the previous video we came to know that the narrator's daughter Sue gave him a card expressing her gratitude towards him and her mother for saving their lives, and now in this video we shall come to know what the narrator did in order to reach that isle in order to get saved from the horrifying ocean. Let's read. I checked and rechecked my calculations. We had lost our main compass, and I was using a spare which had not been corrected for magnetic variation. The narrator says that time and again he checked his calculations, he checked and rechecked his calculations, and he adds that they had lost their main compass, the compass that is the instrument that shows the direction. They had lost their main compass had been broken, and now he was using a spare one which had not been corrected for magnetic variation. The compass which he had been using at that time was not correct for magnetic variation. I made an allowance for this and another estimate for the influence of the westerly currents which flow through this part of the Indian Ocean. The narrator made a surmise, he made a guess, he made an allowance for that, and he made another estimate of the influence of the westerly winds, westerly currents, westerly waves that flow through that part of the Indian Ocean. He calculated about the waves, he calculated about the streams that flowed through that part of the Indian Ocean. About 2 p.m., I went on deck and asked Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees. If we were lucky, I told him with a conviction. I did not feel I could expect to see the island at about 5 p.m. At 2 p.m., about 2 p.m., the narrator went on the deck and asked his crewman Larry Vigil to steer a course of 185 degrees. He added that if they had been fortunate, if they had been lucky, he had told Larry with a conviction, with a guess, with a surmise that though he did not feel, he had not felt so, yet he expected that if their luck was, if their fortune favored them, they would be able to see the island at about 5 p.m. Then, with a heavy heart, I went below, climbed on my bunk, and amazingly dozed off. With a heavy heart, the narrator says, with a heavy heart because he himself was not sure. With a heavy heart, he went and he went to his bed and slept. When I woke, it was 6 p.m. and growing dark. When the narrator woke up, when he rose, it was 6 p.m. and there was darkness all around. I knew we must have missed the island, and with the sail we had left, we could not hope to beat back into the westerly winds. The narrator now considered that probably they had missed the island and the sail that had been left with them, as many parts of the boat had been broken. The sail that had been left with them, with that sail, the narrator could not hope to return in stern side. At that moment, a tousled head appeared by my bunk. Can I have a hug? Jonathan asked. She was right behind him. At the same moment, when the narrator was thinking that probably they had missed the island, at the same moment, a tousled head here stands for the son's head, Jonathan's head, and his hair was scattered. His hair was not in a proper way. The tousled head appeared by the narrator's bunk and asked him if he could hug him, if he could embrace him. his son Jonathan asked him, and the narrator's daughter Sue was just behind Jonathan. Dear students, remaining we shall read in the next video.